Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Hello.
Today, we're getting into something pretty fundamental, wouldn't you say? The power of belief and imagination.
Absolutely. We're looking at a lecture by Neville Goddard. It's called Our Real Belief, from way back March 6th, 1972.
Right. And the goal for you, our listener, isn't just to hear about Goddard's ideas.
No, the mission here is really to grasp how he thought our deepest beliefs actually, shape what we experience day to day.
And how you can use that. That's the key part.
Exactly. This isn't meant to be some abstract philosophical thing. It's about practical application, achieving real goals in your life.
So we're working from excerpts of the lecture transcript.
Yep.
And Goddard really starts with this big idea, our real beliefs.
Yeah.
They're not just thoughts floating around.
No, he equates them with knowing. They actively shape what happens.
Okay, let's unpack that. Real belief. What's Goddard getting at there? What makes a belief real, in his view?
Well, the core is his statement. Real belief and knowing are one. It's fascinating. It's not like simply agreeing with an idea intellectually.
Yeah.
It's a deep internal conviction. It operates as if it's already a fact, less like hoping for something.
More like certainty.
Exactly. An internal certainty that just doesn't entertain doubt. And importantly, he says, this faith, this belief, isn't really complete until it becomes an actual experience.
So just saying, I believe I can get that job, isn't enough on its own.
Not quite, according to Goddard. He uses this image, like everyone hearing the same music, but experiencing it totally differently based on their inner state, their depth of understanding.
Wow.
It's that deep internal acceptance, that's what gives it power.
He brings in a quote to illustrate this, doesn't he? About the word not profiting some people.
Yes, exactly. He references, the word came to them as it did to us, but it did not profit them because it was not mixed with faith in those who heard it. So, in this context, it means just hearing the idea, the word, isn't enough. You have to internally mix it with that deep belief.
But internal alchemy, as you said.
Right. Otherwise, it just stays on the surface. It doesn't take root and change your reality.
It's an active process then.
Yeah.
And Goddard is very clear about who's driving this bus.
Oh, absolutely. He puts it plainly. You are the operant power. It's not some external force you're waiting for.
It requires you to actually do something internally.
Yes. Your active participation, your consistent application of this belief, which, really prompts a question for you listening. How much are you consciously engaging with and shaping your inner convictions?
That naturally leads us straight into imagination, which feels like the engine room for Goddard.
It really is.
He even gives a simple exercise to show its power right at the start.
Yeah, and it's quite revealing. He basically collapses the difference between what happens inside your head and what happens outside.
Oh, so.
He asks you to think of a friend and then vividly imagine that friend telling you something wonderful. And even though it's just in your mind, he points out that it feels real, almost like you actually heard them say it.
I see.
And that, he argues, shows that our imaginative acts carry the same weight, the same reality as external events, at least on some level.
And then he makes this, pretty bold claim about God and humanity.
He does. He connects the divine, the ultimate creative power, referencing Exodus, I am that I am, directly to our own imagination.
So God isn't out there somewhere, but is our imaginative capacity.
That's essentially his view. He suggests that while we experience the sensory world, there's a deeper reality where our imagination is the creative force, where our imaginal acts, if held in faith, quickly become external facts.
So imagination isn't just daydreaming, it's creation.
That's the core of it. He really contrasts the seemingly solid facts of the outside world with the greater potency of our inner imaginal world.
And disbelief is like throwing a wrench in the works.
Exactly. He suggests disbelief literally prevents the imagined scene from hardening into fact, from showing up externally.
And he wants us to go direct to the source. No middlemen.
Precisely. He talks about buying your religion wholesale. Go straight to the source of creation, which he says is your own wonderful human imagination.
Your I amness.
Your very sense of being, he equates that directly with God. The power isn't external, it's inherently within you.
Okay, to make this less abstract, Goddard uses stories. Lots of them. Let's get into those. Starting with Eddie's experience, he linked it to Moses.
Yeah, Eddie's story is quite something. It mirrors Moses at the burning bush.
Yeah.
Eddie hears this disembodied voice say, I am,
Wow.
followed by do not come here. And then right after he sees a rattlesnake.
Okay. And the snake means?
Goddard interprets the snake as a symbol of that raw, untamed creative power of God. And Eddie's fear, like Moses's fear, comes from suddenly recognizing his own creative power and the immense responsibility that comes with it. It's that shocking moment of realizing, wait, I am the one creating my reality.
That sounds intense, a heavy realization.
It can be. Then there's the story about Jen wanting to go to Egypt. This one is great for showing how belief can work over time, often in unexpected ways.
Right. She had no money, no obvious way to go.
None at all, but she just declared, I'm going to Egypt. Friends thought she was crazy, impractical, but she held on to it. And then, 7 years later, completely out of the blue, a friend wins this amazing first-class trip to the Near East, including Egypt.
No way.
And offers it to her.
7 years, though.
Exactly. That's the point. It shows manifestation can happen, but maybe not on our preferred timeline, and often through totally unexpected channels.
You just have to hold the vision. Don't give up on the dream.
Right. Don't get bogged down in the how or the when. Just maintain that inner conviction.
Okay. Then we have the writer or the producer story. This one's really detailed, showing the mechanics of using imagination deliberately.
Yeah, this gives a fantastic step-by-step. The writer had this producer who was very reserved. His highest praise was just good.
Not exactly inspiring.
Not at all. And the writer wanted more enthusiasm and also a pay rise on his script fee from $2,500 to $3,000, which he got initially.
So what did he do?
He consciously used his imagination. He started imagining the producer saying things like, great, just great, then terrific. He really lived in those scenes internally.
Yeah.
And the producer started saying exactly those things. Then the writer upped the ante, imagining him saying, absolutely sensational.
Seriously.
Yes. Even after a script cut happened, which you'd think would cause problems, the producer came back and declared it absolutely sensational. It perfectly mirrored the writer's internal script.
That's incredible. It's like he was programming the producer's reactions.
In a way, yes. And the big insight for the writer was, well...
He had to change himself first.
Exactly. He realized I had to remake my world only as I remake myself. Inner change comes first.
That's powerful. And then the cat story.
Oh, right. The cat on the rug. A very practical example. The cat was destroying a rug, seemed impossible to stop. The writer used his imagination, saw the cat behaving differently, peacefully, and within 48 hours, the problem was resolved. The cat just stopped.
Wow. That must have really cemented his belief.
It did. He said it shifted his focus entirely to being faithful to this power within himself, which he started calling Christ within.
Then there's the little story about Jen's son and the TV.
Yeah.
That highlights something different, doesn't it?
It really does. It shows the pure, unadulterated belief of a child versus adult skepticism. The TV aerial was totally flattened, bent over.
Right. Physically broken.
Clearly broken. But the little boy just confidently said, oh, it'll work. I imagined it working. And Jen, despite knowing the principles, was doubtful. But she turned it on and boom, perfect picture.
Amazing. The child hadn't learned disbelief yet.
Precisely. Jen's reaction, her initial doubt even knowing the theory, shows how easily our adult conditioning can override that innate imaginative power.
Fascinating contrast. Okay, one more story. The Swiss record changer. This feels like a masterclass in living in the end.
It really is. This gentleman wanted a specific kind of rare Swiss record changer.
Okay.
So he acted as if he already had it. He mentally ordered it. He got an erroneous bill for it, which sort of confirmed its existence somewhere. He even prepared the space, put in an outlet, got a stand ready.
He acted on the assumption.
Completely. And the kicker is, he paid for it mentally, assigned funds to it in his mind before it physically showed up.
And did it.
Eventually, yes. Despite some logistical hiccups, the exact record changer he desired materialized. It shows how fully embodying the feeling of the wish fulfilled can orchestrate the events.
These stories are really compelling. They take it from theory to, well, lived reality.
They do.
So let's try and distill the practical steps here. What are the key principles for someone listening who wants to apply this?
Okay, well, a core idea is seeing your external world as basically an echo or a mirror of your internal imaginative activity.
What do you imagine you experience?
Essentially, yes. And the intensity and feeling you bring to that imagined state matters. Goddard uses the analogy of an actor becoming totally immersed in their role. You need to fully feel what it's like to have your desire fulfilled in your imagination.
So it's not just a picture, it's the feeling of reality.
Exactly. It's embodying that state. And another huge part is your internal conversations.
The mental chatter.
Right. Goddard says, thinking follows the tracks laid down in one's own inner conversations. So you need to consciously have mental conversations from the premise that your wish is already fulfilled.
Talk to yourself as if it's done.
Yes. That shapes your thoughts, your assumptions, and eventually your outer world aligns with it.
What about tools? He mentions seeing and hearing internally.
Yes, visualization is obviously a popular one, seeing the scene in your mind's eye.
Mm-hmm.
But Goddard also highlights internal hearing. Imagining conversations, sounds related to your goal achieved. He says this can be incredibly powerful even if you don't think of yourself as visual or musical.
So use whatever sense feels most real to you in imagination.
Precisely. Engage the senses that give it the tone of reality for you.
Now, what about timing? The Egypt story took 7 years. That requires patience.
A lot of patience and faith. Goddard references the book of Habakkuk here. The vision has its own appointed hour.
It will happen, but maybe not instantly.
Right. There's always an interval, a gestation period, between the conception and imagination and the birth in the outer world. And that interval varies.
So don't give up if it doesn't happen overnight.
Definitely not. You need unwavering faith during that interval. His core advice is, know what you want, create a scene implying it's fulfilled, feel it real, mentally converse from that reality, and trust the timing.
And crucially, don't meddle with the how.
Oh, this is so important. He stresses this repeatedly. Don't try to figure out how it's going to happen or force the means.
Why not?
Because trying to control the how usually comes from a lack of faith in the imaginal act itself. It introduces doubt and resistance. Your job is the end, the feeling of fulfillment. Let the how take care of itself.
Don't raise a finger to make it so.
That's the phrase he uses. Trust the power within.
Okay, finally, let's touch on how Goddard frames God and Jesus Christ in all this. It's unconventional for many.
It is. He consistently brings it back to his main idea. God is your own wonderful human imagination, your fundamental I am awareness.
In Christ.
Christ, for Goddard, is God in action. It's that imaginative power, actively creating, fulfilling the desire. It's an internal, experiential reality.
Not an external historical figure, primarily.
Not in the way most people think, no. He contrasts his internal understanding with the common externalized views. He even quotes John 10:20. He has a devil. He is mad. Why listen to him? He uses this to acknowledge that people embracing these ideas might face skepticism or be seen as crazy because it challenges deeply ingrained beliefs.
Because it shifts the power entirely inward.
Exactly. And he suggests that doubt itself, if you were to personify it, would constantly throw the facts of life, the evidence of the senses, against your imagined state, trying to dissuade you.
So the essence is, the divine creative power isn't separate from us. It is our own consciousness, our imagination.
That's the core of his teaching. It's an invitation to recognize that power within yourself and learn to use it consciously.
Right. So as we wrap up this deep dive into our real belief, what's the main takeaway?
I think the biggest thing is recognizing the sheer power you hold within your own belief, your own imagination. It's not trivial. It's not fantasy in Goddard's view. It's the fundamental creative force.
And it's not out there somewhere. It's right here.
It's within you right now, an intrinsic capacity, maybe largely untapped for many.
And the invitation really is just to try it.
Absolutely. Test it. Goddard always urged people to prove it in their own experience. Start small, maybe. Pick something you desire. Apply these principles. Feel it real. Persist in that assumption.
See what happens. The stories we talked about show what's possible.
They really do. They offer compelling evidence if you accept the premise.
So maybe a final thought for you to consider. What if? What if this internal world of your imagination and belief is the primary reality?
And the world you see around you is just the echo, the reflection.
Yeah. If that were true, what possibilities would that open up for you for consciously creating the life you want?
It's a profoundly different way of looking at things, isn't it?
Definitely something to ponder. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.